Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm a little bit sick. I don't even know what I have. I don't know if I have cold or whatever, but this just started yesterday. But I really just want to come here and read with you guys as always. So, I welcome you guys, High Priestesses, Soul Tribe. Name it whatever you want to call it. It's your fellow High Priestess TT here. You guys already know, and if you're new to my channel, my name is TT, and it's nice to meet you. And I'm looking forward to growing and learning more about ourselves, and just grow spiritually. So, for those of you who are new, if you don't know, we are reading this book. It's called The Ways of a Priestess. I hope you can read it. And it's by Sarah Coxon. And we just read it here to because we can relate to what it's in this book. So we just come here and read together, and then once we're done with few pages, we go ahead and read the oracle cards. Um So last no yeah, last week actually. So the last reading we stopped at gaslighting, and this week we're gonna continue with why strong women stay, and I'm excited to read it because I feel like I'm already relating to the topic even without reading it. And by the way, I as I said, I promised you guys that I wouldn't read it without you guys, so I did not, and that's why I'm here. Even though I'm sick, but I really want to, I really want to read this book. So, bear with my voice. I'm gonna go in and out. My throat hurts so bad right now. All right, let's get to it. Why strong women stay. We find ourselves in the patterns of denial when we feel intense shame. But denial and lying also reinforce shame, and it was this, not the abuse, that eroded my sense of self and left me feeling utterly exhausted and disempowered. The number one question that haunts all abused women is, why didn't you leave him sooner? I wish I could answer that in a short succinct. Wait, I need to in a short, succinct sentence. But the truth is multifaceted and deeply complex. And honestly, if you ask me why I stayed in an abusive, you know, connection or relationship, whatever it is, like if you asked me back then, I wouldn't have an answer. And even now, I don't know if I'm not sure if I have an answer even now, but maybe I would say the fear. I don't know if it's a fear of rejection or the fear of like, oh, I'm never gonna find somebody, or let me say codependency. Let me put it that way. Maybe that's what it was. All right. So I stayed for a myriad of reasons. I downplayed my experience. I felt love for him. I believed I needed him. And the number one reason, I was scared. That makes sense. It kind of makes sense. The typical portrayal of a domestic abuse victim is that they are weak and meek. But this couldn't be farther from the truth. These situations are usually a complicated concussion of psychological warfare, trauma responses, and social conditioning. He was my lover and my abuser. My brain was unable to comprehend this conflict. And so I did what all good girls are conditioned to do in the face of messiness or confusion. Pretend you didn't see anything and act like it wasn't a big deal. Women are socially conditioned to ignore red flags. The term gaslighting refers to the denial of a person's reality and can manifest in all relationships, but particularly intimate ones. But the research is clear: gaslighting is rooted in society inequality related to race, nationality, sexual orientation, and gender. It affects far more women than men, and it begins at an early age. This is not to say that men don't experience abuse, but social inequality makes women and other marginalized groups far more likely to be subjected to it. Specifically related to gender, femininity is still associated with irrationality. The word hysteria, coined in the 19th century to describe exaggerated emotional agitation, comes from the ancient Greek hysteria, meaning womb. This bias is often used against victims to erode their reality. We see it in the caricature of the irrational woman or the stereotype of the angry black woman. Gaslighting was there in our childhood whenever we were told that we were making a fuss out of nothing. That it wasn't that bad. That was misunderstood and that was remembered wrong. It was happening anytime an authority figure made us feel stupid for asking obvious questions or questioning what we were being told. Of course, questioning the status quo and what's considered as normal is one of our greatest superpowers. And as empowered women, we must learn to question the hell out of everything that doesn't feel right. But as little girls, we were taught that to ask for clarity is a sign of stupidity. And the last thing we wanted was to be called a stupid little girl. When it comes to the reclamation of our feminine power, we must understand that the reason that we doubt ourselves is not our fault. Even though the world has tried to convince us that it is a response to bias and discrimination against the feminine. This has conditioned us to question our perception of reality. We only have to look at the world stage to see that the devaluation of the feminine plays out on the macro scale. When Donald Trump was sworn into the White House, I felt like the wind had been knocked out of me. Here was someone who had been recorded saying overtly misogynistic and degrading remarks, and yet, no doubt because of his corrupt campaign, has still been voted into the White House. The lack of consequences for his lewd behavior sent a very clear message to women globally. The world does not respect you. Understanding the toxicity allow us to recognize what we are dealing with so that rather than beating ourselves up and believing we are weak or useless, we get to take a look at the ways in which experiences throughout our lives have shaped what we have believed about ourselves and the habitual ways in which we respond. Because it's only when we eliminate something fully that we can then transcend it. I wasn't able to access the priestess during the dark years with my ex. My relationship back then was like a swamp of quicksand, and the more I tried to break myself free, the deeper I sank. Even though the priestess was whispering to me during this time, I was unable to converse with her. As women, we can't leave our divine purpose whilst we're trying to fix another or save ourselves. When we are in such depths of darkness, we forget that we deserve to shine. And that is true. You know, that is so true, guys. Um, it's so true because I have been in situations like that and where I'm trying to make something like literally work. Again, it takes two to tango, right? And when you find yourself in a situation where you are trying to make you are the only person trying to make something work out between two people, and then also you're trying to save yourself in the process because even this other person doesn't care, they're hurting you, lying, doing all sort of things. It affects you, it blinds you, you don't see what you're supposed to do, you're not working on your purpose. And it's either you can either choose to like take yourself out of that situation, or as the high priestess that you are, God is going to intervene. And you already know how that goes. That will literally like, I'm not saying taking yourself out of that situation is not gonna break you. It will break you. But the way God is gonna handle it will break you more, because at this time you are not the one taking yourself out of the situation. It's the other person who will literally like, you know, destroy the whole thing, and then you're gonna question like every time you guys are shared, and just be like, wait, what? Like, did this person just do this? It's easier when you do the destroying, when you do the walking away from any toxic situation. It's easier for you to, handle that than the other party disrespecting you, breaking you, and then destroying the whole thing. All right. Okay. So should we read another? And we're done with that one. Should we read another page? Oh, so this one, it says end of chapter, contemplation. So contemplation is a process of bringing something into our awareness and allowing the light of our consciousness to reveal the layers of its meaning to us time and time again. It encourages true transformation by providing space for us to gain deeper clarity on our inside and integrate them into our lives. You can contemplate through journaling or by going for a walk in nature and asking yourself the question over and over again. Don't rush through the process. Give yourself space and time for the wisdom to emerge, and you will be blown away by what you discover. Here are the contemplative prompts for this chapter. What really resonated with you throughout these pages? What do you see yourself in Sarah's story? Where do you see yourself in Sarah's story? What have you been? What have been your biggest breakthrough realization so far? And let me tell you, all these pages that we have read, I can resonate with every page because it's so funny. I have found myself in every situation. So if I were to sit down and journal and answer this question, I will have a lot to write down. So I want to encourage you, if you have to pause to write down the questions, please go ahead and do that as well. Um, but the next page that we'll be reading is reclamation. So I think we're gonna read reclamation. Um, and then it is. Let me see. I wanna see how much to read before I go, cause my throat hurts. All right, reclamation. It truly takes a brave woman to commit to connecting to and honoring our true self, especially when the social pressure to be someone else is incredibly strong, which it always is. But it's the only way to live a joyful and liberated life. It's the only way to reclaim our power and reveal our divine purpose. It's the only way to live as the priestess. Our journey continues with reclamation. When we choose to be brave, we activate our ability to live in radically new ways. Reclamation is the process of reconnecting to our true authentic self and our potent feminine magic. It's about honoring our creative, intuitive superpowers and self worth. In this part of the book, I share with you both my personal process of reclamation and some snapshots of inspiring client stories. I also include some practices that you can implement to help you integrate these lessons and reclaim your own priestess powers. This work lays the foundation for everything that is to come, and it is only when we have given ourselves over to this process that our purpose and strength to live a new way emerges. All right, so we're gonna read this last page, the return of the priestess, and then we're gonna go to the oracle cards. So, the return of the priestess. A woman undone is a formidable force. As she unravels, the lies and false beliefs that have kept her in bondage begin to dissolve. This begin to dissolve. She starts to breathe freely and feel fully. Her hair grows wild, her eyes shine bright. She becomes aware of a sexual magnetism. She starts to honor her intuition, and the flame of her inner power burns brighter. As a result, the portal to the priestess opens. During the first month living in Portugal, I experienced an awakening like no other. There were intense highs and dark lows as I navigated the process of healing my trauma and recalibrating my being. But despite the storm of emotion that raked through me, I felt grounded. My newly acquired freedom opened me up to the process of self rediscovery. I no longer had anyone to answer to, no one to protect myself from, and no one to justify myself to. I was free to embody a new identity. In response, the priestess made herself known to me. I recognized her instantly, of course, the embodiment of potent female intuition, the vessel of the divine, the channel of wisdom, the weaver of magic. She started to express herself in the way I dressed, the way I moved, the way I taught my yoga students, the way I talked, and in response to her power, my life started to become magical. All right, so we're gonna stop there, but let me tell you guys something, okay? This is exactly how I feel. I really think like the other day I was talking to my friend Angela, and I was telling her how this year has been so crazy. It's been like it's just been a lot. This year has been so crazy, but guess what? This year is still the year that I felt my best. Okay? Every situation that I don't know if I should use the word broke me. Every situation that broke me literally broke me to make me. Like I decided to learn from everything, and to see the bigger picture, right? And seeing the bigger picture in those situations, that's just it's just amazing. It's so great. And I'm so looking forward to what the new year brings, because it only gets better from here for me, with how much that I've learned, with how much that I feel now. Like I literally worship myself, and it's nothing anybody can tell me. I don't care. You know, you can tell me anything because I just I have a sense of who I am. It's nothing you can tell me. Like I'm open to people saying whatever they want, but best believe that I'm not ingesting what they're saying because I don't care. All right, so let's go to the cards. First I have the affirmation cards, which we're gonna talk about, and I have three cards here, and then the first one says, "What am I grateful for right now?" So I'm gonna read it. It says, "Adopt an abundance mindset. Gratitude is the antidote to all our problems. It is impossible to be fearful and grateful at the same time. Gratitude improves our health, opens our heart, and changes our state. So the soul action is the universal law of attraction says that we attract into our lives that on which we are focused. Close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and think of three things for which you are grateful for today, and notice the abundance growing within you. One thing that I always do is I'm just like always grateful. Um, I don't care. No matter how small, I I remain grateful because you know, I'm just grateful because I could maybe God may decide not to give me that, but he decided to give me that. So I'm grateful for it, right? And also when you're grateful for every little thing, you receive more. That's just the way it works. Okay. So this one I honestly think like some of you are supposed to be like out there literally using your voice, showing yourself, leading people, let people see you. But for some reason you are kind of like afraid to be seen, and I promise you I used to be there. If someone told me like a few years ago that I'm gonna be here talking to people, I'm gonna say shut up. Because I never saw myself doing this. I don't know if I want to use the word shy, or it's just muscle. I'm so introverted that I do not want to be seen. So I just like to keep to myself. But so the word here is, am I afraid to be seen? Right? The world doesn't want to hold back any longer. Time to shine your unique light on the world. You were made from love, and from love you are whole. There is no more hiding, there is no more shame. There is only one truth. Live naked and free. What part of me do I hide so I can be socially accepted and fit in? Am I being authentic? Do I allow myself to be all of me? What do I need to feel so I can be safe to be seen? Journal your answer. That's for you. Alright, so for this affirmation card, the last one is, am I consistently showing up? Some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. You guys, this hit me so bad. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Sometimes, like tonight, I told you guys like I'm sick. Like my throat hurts right now, right? And I'm like, you know what? I could just lay down. I'd be lazy. And yesterday, I was sick as well. And I did mean to like record this yesterday. I could not. And I said I'll do it today. Today, my throat got worse. And I'm like, oh my God. I thought I was going to feel better today. But you know what? I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this because I don't know. I just I just push myself, and this is hitting so bad. Success requires showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, and even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes guts and an endless vision to stay consistent to your dream. Journal where you can be more consistent in your life in alignment with your soulful goals. Then show up. I'm so glad that I was able to like talk to you guys about how I'm feeling right now. And then reading this is like it's not just speaking to you guys, it's also speaking to me how, I didn't stop myself from coming here tonight to like talk to you guys. And I just think there's also someone that needs to hear this. And that's why I kept getting pushed to come here and to talk to you guys, right? Okay, so we are going to read this two cards. One says poised, and the other says chaos and conflict. So we're gonna read chaos and conflict first, and that is on 33. We are going to 33, guys. Give me a second, and I will be there. All right, we're here. So chaos and conflict, disarray, being at cross purposes with another, the tension of opposite, the value of chaos before order. The oracle message, opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere. But consider the value of chaos that serves you well. As you become unmoored by it, scattered to the winds, you leave behind the part of yourself you no longer need and proceed to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outwards, and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can control. Yet every storm passes, and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of the situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take a shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. Okay? Um so what I'm getting is there might be some type of conflict coming up. Um or even there might be one going on right now. But now is not the time for you to be like, I want to have my way, I want to have my way. Now is the time for you to also listen and try to understand where someone else is coming from, to avoid this conflict. Okay, relationship message: stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. The essence sign right need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you want to be resolved. This is an opportune moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what is really important to you. Some things are non negotiable. If that's true, it's not necessary to fight. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to a higher ground? Soon the air will clear and you will be in a much better place than before. For the conflict will have passed, blazing the path for new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and enlightened, always better than before. If you see if you see if you see this time constructively. Okay. So, what I'm getting here is you may be feeling stubborn and now is not the time for that. Um this is for a relationship message, by the way. So if probably you're having some type of conflict in your relationship, be it friendship, whatever it is, um now is not the time for you to be stubborn. Now is the time for you to, you know, just chill and take this from um like, I want to understand your level and not just be like, I want to speak, you have to understand me, or like you want to have your way in everything. Okay, so let's read pause. That is on 48, and I'm almost there, guys. Hold on. So it says being ready, bringing something to life, being at your best and confidence. Oracle message: you can be assured that you are ready for anything right now. You know what you need to, your skills are sharp, you've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge, and you sense a new phase of life about to begin. People respond to your confidence and trust you. This is an auspicious time to begin new thing. Relationship message: when you are confident and happy in your own skin, you are ready for deeper, more intimate relationships. You have nothing to prove right now. You are completely yourself and can handle anything. Love, friendship, and harmonious new connection are all present now or are coming in. You are ready to give and receive from the heart. This is a beautiful place to be. Prosperity message. You have every reason to feel confident. Everything you need to make your success concrete is now at your disposal. Is now at your disposal. You can take action knowing you're ready to step into your power, into your light, and into your service to the world. To the world. The direction you are moving in is your density. Your soul is smiling with joy as you align with this truth. All right. Um. Okay. So we have two more cards. I'm gonna read that to you guys, and we are out of here. So the first one is creation, and that is number 6. So if you can hold on for me, and I will be right there. Almost there. Um, all right, so we're here. So creation. Through the darkness I crossed, and still I find myself in the presence of life. So nothing in life represents the crossing of the veil, quite like a birth. A miracle emerges from from the loins of the mother with fresh energy, waiting to make its place in the world. Every goal is like a birth in a way. A new idea emerges from the womb of your mind, where it is safely held to develop before emerging into the world. A dream must be held safe for a time, as a dream born prematurely could be much too fragile and vulnerable to sustain the challenges of the physical world. For now, the situation you have inquired about must be kept secret. Hold it tightly, for there are dangers nearby that could put your situation at risk. However, this message has a double meaning. A dream cannot stay hidden forever. At some point, you must be willing to cut the veil and give life to your creation. If you have been afraid to send your out into the world, creation has come to you to say, now is the time, as your goal is strong enough to battle any challenge or hardship. Allowing your dream to come to the world doesn't mean you won't be there to defend it. You will surely continue to nourish your goals as time goes on, as all mothers or fathers do. But now this dream must take on a life of its own and be free to spread its wings. Nice. So the last one is the sun god, which can be found in 40. And I don't know, I feel like I got this card for you guys all the time. It says, come all come now, expand into the skies and into the shadows below. Yeah, I feel like I got this card for you guys. So, the sun god is the ultimate expression of masculine energy, representing structure, authority, respect, and status. This is the card of the leader. It represents all of the qualities that make someone a force to be reckoned with. Yet situation requires a strong hand and systemic approach. The sun god does not allow his emotion to cloud his judgment, and neither should you. Communicate with clear logic and reasoning and demonstrate your mastery and intellect. Any others involved in your situation will respect you for your ability to get right down to the heart of the matter. Additionally, this card reminds you that a leader rules with a strong hand but is not a tyrant. Be mindful of arrogance and allow others their movement in the sun. The sun god is at his best when he uses his strength to bring out the best in others. Okay, so guys, that will be all for tonight. I'm so happy that I was able to like do this without coughing and sneezing into you guys' ears. Um, but I'm so glad that I was able to do this. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I hope someone out there finds this helpful. Um, Again, I will be back to continue um the ways of the priestess with you guys um this week, cause it's Tuesday, right? Yeah. I hope I feel better so that I can come on here later this week for another one, for another reading. But I appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you so much for hanging with me and for reading with me. Um, don't forget to subscribe so that we can connect and continue to grow spiritually. And this is a journey, and that it's not gonna stop. We have to keep going and keep growing and keep elevating. It's not going back. So yeah, join my community by subscribing. Turn on your post notifications so whenever I upload, you see it. And I also post my prayers every day. I pray with you guys every day. Every day. You can check it out for yourself. Every day I post my prayers there to pray with you guys. So I'm gonna stop talking now, guys. I am so tired. Thank you so much for your time, and bye bye.